All right, good morning, team and family. We are going to get started with our video for today. We're going to move quickly because we are a little bit behind on our content. So I want to make sure that everyone is good to go and finishing this assignment today. Make sure you put your house at the top. I think you should just go ahead and write the best house in the world, which is Bridget's house, even if you're not with Bridget's house. I know sometimes it can be sad to not be a part of the best house, but don't cry. I don't want anyone to cry. It's crying is sad. All right, what I want you to do right now is try on your own silent and solo to answer questions 1 through 6 on this page. As soon as you are done, go ahead and then press play on the video to record your answers. Go. Alrighty, hopefully you made that attempt on your own. If not, I'm snitching. A producer, you should have said a producer is an organism that makes, I'll turn this light off because it's a little too bright. There we go. Its own food using energy from the sun. A consumer is an organism that eats other organisms. And this is either going to be a carnivore that only eats meat, or it's going to be an omnivore that eats plant and animals. Next, we have what is a decomposer. A decomposer is an organism that breaks down dead plants and animals and returns nutrients to the soil for producers. Okay. Next one, which organisms in the food chain are producers? We know that our food chains always start with a producer, so you want to say the green plants. Which organism in the food chain are consumers? Any organism that eats another organism, so we have our crickets, frogs, and snakes. Next, what is the source of energy in this ecosystem? This is the source of energy in every ecosystem, and that is the sun. If you need to pause the video to get that down, go ahead and do it at this time. If not, turn the page. We're going to do our science sprint. What you want to do is pause the video right here and go ahead and attempt to do 1 on your own. Give a thumbs up right now so Ms. Talbert knows you are working hard, not being a cheater to your pumpkin eater. All right, pause the video now. All right, you should have paused the video. If not, then you're disgusting. So let's go ahead and answer these questions. Animal that chases after another animal to hunt it and eat it. That's going to be a predator. Number 2, animal that hides, runs away to escape is your prey. A single living thing is an organism. Conditions that prevent a population from growing any bigger. This is a carrying capacity. We're going to talk more about this next week. 5, organisms that can use sunlight to make their own food. We just talked about this. This is a producer. Organisms that must eat other organisms to get their food is consumer. Organisms that eat dead organisms, decomposer. Anytime we see eat dead organisms or break down their bodies, we know it's a decomposer. The job or role that an organism plays in nature is its niche. Living stuff in nature is biotic. The word bio means life. Non-living things are abiotic. Go ahead and pause this to get those words down if you don't have them already. So let's take a look at our background information at the top. It says in any ecosystem, hundreds of different plants and animals live and thrive together. All of the ways that an ecosystem cannot be shown with a single food chain. Energy relationships are complicated. One type of tree may be food for many different types of herbivores. In fact, most organisms have more than one consumer that eats them. These complex energy relationships are shown using a diagram called a food web. A food web is a collection of many food chains that show all the ways energy could be passed to many organisms in an ecosystem. What you're going to do is copy down that definition below. Then I want you to create one food chain from the food web we see here. Take 2 minutes and do that now on your own. Thumbs up, ready, set, go. Excellent. What you should have said is that a food web is a collection of many food chains that show all the ways energy could be passed to many organisms in an ecosystem. So now what we want to do is create one food chain from the food web. We know that food chains always start with a producer. So we're going to write our phytoplankton, which is our producer, which is going to give energy out, which is going to give energy to the salamander, or potentially the hawk or the giant bird, which is going to give energy to the snake. Okay? Go ahead and turn the page. Let's take a look at evidence dive 1. So it says, how does a food chain show how energy is passed from one organism to another? Again, you are first going to take 3 minutes on your own to answer questions 1, 2, and 3, and your main idea. Your main idea is a sentence that tells us what did we learn from doing this activity or learn from this page. Go ahead and take 2 minutes. Pause your video right now. Go. Alrighty, now that you hit play again, it says in food chain 1, get the energy it needs to make its food. We know that all energy from every ecosystem starts with the sun. You need to get sunlight. In food chain 1, the insect is the herbivore. What organism provides energy for the insect? So if we need to know what energy provides energy for the insect or the herbivore, we look behind it. So that is going to be the plant. Based on food chain number 1, it's more likely that the mouse is eating the insect, that the insect is eating the mouse. So if we take a look at the mouse, we look at this arrow, which means gives energy to. We see behind it is the insect. So the insect is giving energy to the mouse, which means that the mouse is going to eat the insect. The insect gives energy to the mouse, which means the mouse eats the insect. All right, so our main idea here, there are 2 key pieces I want you to jot down. All ecosystems are fueled or powered by energy from the sun. And number 2, the arrows in a food chain indicate or show where energy is coming from. All right, let's take a look at evidence 5. So again, you're going to take the next 3 minutes to complete this silent and solo on your own. Alrighty, so you should have tried to answer these questions on your own. If not, let's try to work through this together. So in food chain 2, which organism is the producer? You should have said grass. We know this because grass is a producer and producers always begin a food chain. Which organism is the herbivore? How do you know? The grasshopper is the herbivore because it receives energy from the grass. Which organism gives energy to the grasshopper? The grass gives energy to the grasshopper? Which organism gives energy to the frog, the grasshopper gives energy to the frog? Which organism gives energy to the snake? If we look, what comes behind the snake, it is the frog. The frog gives energy to the snake. Which organism can best be described as a tertiary consumer? Which organism pictured in the food web above would give energy to a decomposer? So if you take a look here, we know that our tertiary consumer is our top consumer, which means that it is the apex predator at the top of the food chain. If we look across, which organism is at the top of our food chain? It is going to be our hawk. So we're going to say the hawk is the tertiary consumer. Now, the second part of the question says, which organisms would give energy to a decomposer? So what you need to say here is that all organisms, remember, a decomposer is going to break down dead plants and animals. If any of these organisms in the food chain die, they will all become energy or an energy source for decomposers. We will say all organisms, once they die, will become energy for decomposers. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, evidence dive 2 is all on your own, including our next 2 pages. So what you are going to do silent and solo is complete the rest of your assignment, which is evidence dive 2. Our page here with our Southwest ecosystem, you're going to need to draw a picture of a food chain. You can either use the names of the organisms or you can draw a picture if you choose to. And then you're answering the questions at the bottom. You then need to complete the independent practice here with the food chain that you created, and then complete our last page as your exit ticket. Once you are done with all 4 pages, you're going to give Miss Talbert a thumbs up so she can come around and check your work. You all did a great job today. So proud of you. Have a great day, 5th grade.